Hello, thank you for joining me today. I'm Amanda Fowler of Inspiring Inkin. Welcome to my craft room. In today's video we're going to be making this little cardboard cup. I use this cup and variations of it to gift cards and cash to like my nieces and nephews and teenagers particularly, who are always quite tricky to get Christmas presents for. And what I do is I make up a little cup like this. I pop in some hot chocolate and marshmallows and a candy cane so they can, have a fun drink. But also inside there I will put their gift card or their cash and then wrap it up, because I just think it's so much nicer to have a present to open rather than just maybe an envelope. So this will be great for gifting all year round, just change up the colours and things, but I'm showing you this just before Christmas, just if you needed a little bit of creative inspiration of how to jazz up those gifts. So let's get started. So here is the cup. Inside it I have got a sachet of hot chocolate, a peppermint candy cane and some marshmallows. Now if you have never tried this, do. It's fabulous, and the addition of whipped cream wouldn't harm either, but it makes a really lovely peppermint hot chocolate. The cup itself has got a couple of punched out circles at the base, but it is just cardstock and stamping and scoring. It's really straightforward to do. In today's project I'm actually going to be using the Winterwoods and the Dashing Deer stamp sets. I am going to start out by cutting the cardstock, and I've got my trimmer out. So the first cut line is 10 3/4 inches, and then the second one is 5.5. Okay. Now, although there is a scoring blade on the trimmer, I tend to use my Simply Scored when I've got multiple score lines to do, because I'm not moving the cardstock around. So I'm going to get my Simply Scored out, and we're just going to do one score line for now, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to do all of this scoring here and then try and stamp over it, because what will happen is the ink will sit in the hollows and it just won't look really nice. So I'm just going to score the base first so I know where to put my stamps. So we're going to turn this around and we're going to score at 1.5, and then we can do the stamping. So I'm going to get the Winterwoods stamp set out, and I've already got my little deers out. I'm just going to press that on, and I'm going to stamp the trees in crumb cake, and this is crumb cake cardstock, and then I'm going to put the little deers in soft suede, so they're going to stand out a little bit. So I'm just going to ink this up really well, and I'm going to stamp that once, and then I'm actually going to move it slightly offset, not re-ink it, and stamp it again, kind of a couple of times, just to give the illusion of more trees. So I'm going to ink it up again and stamp again, and again, move it along, and it just gives added depth to the trees. And don't worry if you get like an extra splodge, that will help us position where the deers are going to go. So there we go. Okay, right, So I'm going to get the soft suede ink. I'm going to start there with that deer. Put another one there. And then these ones. Put one here. One there. Another one just there. And then for the inside, so I just need a couple of punched out pieces. So what I'm actually going to do, let's see, will that deer fit? Yeah, so I'm going to put a deer for the inside, but then what I'm just going to do as well is ink up the trees excuse me, and just add a bit of interest as though he's kind of stood in the forest. So that's those pieces. So they're for the insides. So the last thing I need to do is this handle, and it is in fact the same circle, and I'm just going to do exactly the same. I'm just going to stamp over the top with the trees and show you how to make that. So that should be all the stamping done. Take the ink pads out of the way, and let's get the scoreboard back in so that we can do the scoring. So there are lots of score lines, and I don't want you to worry that you're not necessarily going to hear all of them. You will find all of the measurements on, it depends whether you're on my blog or whether you're on YouTube. So if you're on my blog, just scroll down underneath the video and they'll be there. If you're on YouTube, sometimes you'll be able to see them, but sometimes you have to click on the See More button to be able to see them, but they will all be there. So if you don't hear them as I'm calling them out, don't worry. And if you've never been to my blog before, it's www.inspiringinkin.com, and there you will find a list of all the products that I've used and an online store. If you are on YouTube, again, when you scroll down, you'll see the product links there, and you can just click on them and it will take you straight to the store. So the first score line is 1 1/4 inches, then 2 1/2, 3 3/4, 5, 6 1/4, 7 1/2, 8 3/4, and 10. Okay, so I'm going to get my big scissors, and I'm just going to cut there and then cut up each one of these score lines. And then the final thing I need to do is I'm going to fold this in half. So this is actually going to be the handle, and we're just going to use my smaller scissors and cut a handle shape, just freehand. You can obviously use a circle punch, but the circle punch is, well, any punch isn't going to like going through 2 layers of cardstock. It's just not going to be happy. So it's just as easy to cut it by hand. And then what I want you to do is just snip off a little bit like that. So you'll be able to see in a moment, that is the little tab that's going to go inside the cup. I've realised I haven't got my bone folder, which I need. So there we go. So let's fold all of these score lines. What I'm doing with the bone folder, I'm just rubbing it along each score line, and basically what that does, it reinforces it, and it just makes sure that the cardstock is going to go where you're telling it to go. It is going to be doing what you want it to do. Okay, and then we're just going to fold these little bits up as well. So just run the bone folder along there like that. Okay, so we are nearly finished. This piece is going to come there like that. But what we are going to do is we're going to put the cup handle in there, and I'm actually just going to put it about there. So I've got my trusty Tombow, so I'm going to put Tombow all the way along, because that flap is going to be joining there. And then I'm just going to put a little bit on here on both sides. It's a bit of overkill really, you don't need that much glue, but I just want to make sure that the handle is kind of in and secure. So I'm lining up the two score lines there, and what we're going to do is just fold this over. Now this is a trick to do with all of your boxes and anything kind of like this that will fold flat. It's so much easier to glue it when it's flat. So there we go. So there's your little handle, that's really cool. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold these flaps in. So fold them in basically one at a time, so they're all going to fold one on top of another. So I can just show you how it's actually all going to come together. And what you're going to need to do is you need to kind of hold it and maneuver it around so it's even. So you've got two sections. I don't know how easy it is to kind of explain, but you've got two flat sections there and two flat sections there, and then diagonals there, and that is what you're looking for. So you're actually looking for it to be even all the way around. So you're going to start out putting a bit of glue on one piece and then folding them all in one on top of the other. So I'm going to do that, and then put glue on that left hand corner, and actually the right hand corner of this one and the left hand corner of that one. So the left hand corner and the right hand corner, left hand corner, right hand corner. And don't worry, they will kind of ping up, because when we get to the end we're going to put the circle on and it'll all hold it together. But this is just getting the glue in the right place. So left hand corner, right hand corner, and again left, right, and actually that can go all the way over because that's the last piece. So what we're going to do now is just kind of square it up so you are happy with the shape of it, and then we're going to get this lovely deer, put glue all over it, and then that is going to pin that down. And if you put your hand inside, you'll be able to squash it from both sides, and then you're going to do exactly the same on the inside. So more glue all over the top and pop that down. Sometimes I use my bone folder just to move it over so it's exactly where I want it to be. Give it a good press, pop your hand in, press it down, and there you go. It is all finished. So a Christmas scene on a mug that you can pop all sorts of gifts in. I was actually thinking about this earlier. You could put like socks or gloves or all sorts of things in, and I just think it gives the opportunity to make a parcel or a gift when you're giving cash and cards, that sort of thing as well. So I hope you have enjoyed today's project. Do subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you'll always be the first to know when I've got new videos out. And subscribe to my blog, www.inspiringinkin.com. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Goodbye.